CN8 studios. This is Your Morning on CN8.
It is Monday, March the 7th. Good morning. I'm Kevin Wall.
And I'm Connie Cola. We're glad that you're joining us this morning. Straight ahead on Your Morning, we've got the global implications of a he said, she said between the American military and an Italian journalist. We'll have more on this story in the news. And then we'll go in depth with our national security analyst, Ed Terzansky. Martha Stewart is making news again this morning as well as she heads back to work at Martha Stewart Omni Media. And we'll talk a little bit about her home confinement. That's coming up in just a few minutes. Martha Stewart, ex-inmate, spent her first weekend as a free woman, sort of. She'll spend the next 5 months completing the home confinement part now of her sentence at her palatial estate. So what exactly will be expected of Martha during this time? Well, joining us live in our CN8 studio in Philadelphia this morning is Cindy Gardner, who is the chief consultant from the Federal Prison Consultants. Cindy, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
You know, a lot of people look at this beautiful home that she's in and they think, oh, gee, wah, wah, wah. That's so tough for the next 5 months. But tell us what the home confinement is really about and how common it is, because there are some things she's going to have to do.
That is correct. Home confinement is not as common as an inmate transitioning into halfway house. Home confinement is really for someone such as Martha, who the Bureau of Prisons may not be able to properly secure, who may meet certain criterion factors. So she does meet certain criterion factors. She'll be able to stay in her home with an ankle bracelet. This ankle bracelet will monitor her movements.
Let's talk about that. It's kind of a GPS tracking system, isn't it?
That's correct.
Just like a lot of cars would have. So can they tell which room she's walking into? Is it that detailed?
There are some hybrid systems that are that detailed, but in general, what the system will do is make sure she's about 100 to 200 feet within the tracking system.
And how easy is it to escape? Does that come off when you take a shower or anything?
It does not come off. It's not too easy to escape.
Okay, so let's talk about the do's and don'ts then. What can't she do?
Well, she has a curfew, so she cannot go out past 9 o'clock in the evening, and she has to be in the home until 6 a.m. in the morning, unless she gets clearance from the U.S. Probation Office. My understanding is there will be some parts of her estate that she will not be able to travel to because it will be out of the range of the tracking device. There is a telephone system that is specifically set up for the monitor that she will not be able to use. It cannot have call waiting. She will be able to do a lot of things, such as have people over. She'll be able to go to work, but she
48 hours outside the house, right?
Technically, that is correct. That can go either way. That's the standard. If she has a meeting, she can have that cleared through the U.S. Probation Office. But in general, yes.
Is this normal? I mean, this much free time, you get to go to work, you get to go, I guess she can go to the doctor and other things that obviously she would need to do. But is that special treatment or is it really standard, this is what everybody gets?
It's standard. There's not a lot of freedom. You are in your home for specific hours or you are at work. You can go to appointments. They have to be cleared with the U.S. probation officer or the home monitor who is monitoring you. So it is stringent.
Now, she has a couple shows that she's working on, so will we be able to see that little monitoring device on her ankle during these shows? Because she's got to tape them pretty soon, I would think.
I'm sure she'll be wearing a lot of pantsuits.
What are, you know, you think, okay, I could get used to that on my ankle. How much does it weigh? What are some of the parameters here of the challenges she's going to have?
It's ounces. And they vary depending on what system. Older systems maybe 6 to 8 ounces. It's something that you'll certainly get used to. It's not as large and encumbersome as someone may think.
All right, Cindy Gardner, we thank you for being with us. She's Chief Consultant from the Federal Prison Consultants. It's nice to have your input and get to know a little bit more about what Martha will be doing in the next couple of months. We appreciate it. Thanks.
Thanks for having me.